What happens when shame becomes louder than reason? When a mistake leads you down a lonely path with no map and no mercy. And when the very people you run from may be the only ones willing to help you heal, if only you knew. This is the story of Ugochi of Umuego, a girl whose fear of disappointment led her into the wilderness of pain, only to discover that true healing is found, not in running, but in returning. The cock crowed just before dawn. Shadows stretched across Umuego village as Ugochi tiptoed out of the compound, clutching a small polythene bag. Inside was a handful of gari, a sachet of water, and nothing more. Her heart raced. "Mother will skin me alive," she whispered. "Father, I can't even look him in the eye. Not after all his warnings." The boy, Ifini, the smooth talker with promises sweeter than honey, had vanished the moment her pregnancy test came back positive. His number switched off. His house empty. His shadow gone. And so Ugochi ran, her bare feet carrying her into the forest path leading toward Alanta, the borderlands between Umuego and Umuchukwu. She had no plan. Just one thought, anywhere but here. 3 days later, hunger gnawed at her belly. The gari was finished. Her wrapper was damp from rain. She staggered near a stream in a strange village and collapsed. A mango seller, Mama Charity, found her. A widow with a scar of her own past, abandoned when she was pregnant years ago, she knew that look of despair. "My daughter," she said softly, sprinkling water on Ugochi's face, "you will not die here." Mama Charity took her in, fed her, gave her a small mat to sleep on. Slowly, Ugochi's body recovered, but her heart remained heavy. Months passed. Ugochi worked in the market, tying firewood, carrying baskets, fetching water. Villagers only saw a hard-working girl, but in her silence lay secrets. Her belly grew. So did her shame. She would sit quietly, watching mothers celebrated with songs and dances as they carried pregnancies with pride. And she would wonder, do my parents think of me? Do they curse me? Or do they cry for me? Back in Umuego, her father, Parabuka, sat on his veranda each evening, cane in hand, eyes fixed on the dusty road. He said little, but his silence was thunderous. Her mother, Mama Agbona, strong leader of the Women's Fellowship, stopped attending village meetings. Every plate of food she served at dinner reminded her that one plate was missing. The villagers whispered, "She has eloped with that boy." No, perhaps she died. But only her parents knew the pain of every sunrise without their daughter. One rainy night, Ugochi went into labor. No hospital. No midwife. Only Mama Charity and a young herbalist boiling palm wine and hot water. The cries pierced the night until a baby's wail filled the hut. A girl. Ugochi held her daughter close, tears rolling. She named her Chimamanda. My God will not fail. For the first time since she ran, Ugochi wept not from fear but from love. A new fire burned in her heart. This child deserves more than silence. This child deserves family. One evening, while grinding pepper in Mama Charity's kitchen, Ugochi finally spoke. "I want to go home." Mama Charity looked at her long and hard. "My daughter, true courage is not in running from your mistakes. It is in facing them. Go. Your shame may be heavy, but love is stronger." The path to Umuego had never looked so long. Ugochi walked slowly, her baby strapped to her back with a torn wrapper. As she approached her compound, her knees weakened. The gate creaked. Mama Agbona, sifting rice in the backyard, turned. The rice fell from her hands. Her eyes widened. Pa Abuka rose from his carved wooden chair, cane in hand. Silence fell between them. "Papa! Mama! I am sorry," Ugochi cried, kneeling. For a long moment, no one moved. Then, the most unexpected thing happened. Pa Abuka dropped his cane. His voice, soft but firm, broke the silence. "Nwam, my child. You made a mistake. But you are still my daughter." Mama Agbona rushed forward, grabbed the baby, looked at her tiny face, and burst into tears. Word spread through Umuego like wildfire. Some villagers mocked. "Ah! She has returned with shame. See how disgrace wears a wrapper." But others rejoiced. "At least she is alive. At least she came back." For her parents, however, nothing else mattered. Their daughter was home. The family was whole again. With her parents' support, Ugochi joined the women's cooperative, learning tailoring. Day by day, stitch by stitch, she built a new future. Chimamanda grew in love, laughter, and family. No shadow of shame hovered over her childhood. Years later, at a women's empowerment event, Ugochi stood tall, telling her story, not with tears of shame, but with courage and pride. Moral of the story: Ugochi's story teaches that running from your mistakes does not erase them, but facing them with humility and courage opens the road to healing, forgiveness, and redemption. And as the elders of Umuego would say, shame can scatter, but forgiveness gathers. And in the end, love always has the final word.